Hey guys, welcome to our review of Gridman, episode 10. As always, I'm your host, the Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
Cinder Blaze.
My dude, welcome back. We just got done watching this, and we're at a loss for words, really.
And a loss of Hibiki, but
But yeah, so spoilers for this episode. It really matters. So, I don't know how many people watch the reviews, but, watch the episode. It was... I guess we'll just start with the end. That twist with Hibiki's...
supposed death.
Supposed death. Or at least the stabbing of.
Yeah. Overall in this episode, I feel like some of the thought processes were, a little bit hard to follow. It's really, really hard to, tell. It's very abstract.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of, the actions kind of, helped guide us through it, in a sense. And, very, at the very end, when Akane kind of, walks into the junk shop and realizes that, Gridman was in the computer and not, with Hibiki, not Hibiki himself.
Mm-hmm.
It, also kind of, enlightened us on, what her feelings towards Gridman actually was. In the previous episode, we saw that she wanted to kind of be with Hibiki, maybe because it was some sort of affection for Gridman in some weird, distorted way that she just wanted to be with that figure of justice. She just was so enamored by it itself, and that's why she was creating all these kaiju to kind of not maybe out of spite for Gridman, but just because she's kind of not respected, but was infatuated. That's the only way I can kind of put it right now.
The way I perceived it was the dream sequence was her positioning herself as the most likable, I guess, thing in their individual world. And for Hibiki, that's, Rika, yeah. And for Rika, it was already her, technically,
Yeah.
And for Utsumi, it was someone who could talk kaiju with him. But I will say for this episode, in terms of Akane's her motivations and all that stuff and how she truly feels, I feel like a lot of that thematically shone through, because Grid Knight himself said it. He said that that creature was Akane's heart. And if you watch the progression of what that thing was, it was on the exterior, you thought it was completely harmless and and once it was defeated, nothing was going to happen. But it eventually turned into this rampant, this rampaging monster who is wild and out of control and destroys everything. Even her own creations, and a lot of what we're seeing is kind of Akane being shown through. Even Grid Knight to an extent. Maybe Grid Knight represents maybe a part of her that could be redeemed, that started out evil and is now on the side of good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just really like all the parallels that they sort of seeded into this. And again, the show still keeps playing with your expectations. Like you were saying, they always said that Akane and Shinjo's house were right next to each other. Did I just say the name of the same person?
Yes, Akane and Rika.
Akane and Rika's house were right next to each other, but we never saw it until now. I didn't expect it at all. I also didn't expect the swordsman to turn sideways and walk out the door correctly.
Yeah, and I just love how not anticlimactic, but it was just their confrontation with the main villain was walking right next door. And they even managed to fit in the gag into it. And I was just it felt so weird,
Hmm.
Like we're at like such a tense situation with Akane. You know, like all the shit she kind of like put all three of them through last episode. You would expect the situation to be so tense, and then their competition just walking like 10 steps over.
Yeah,
Like,
and I feel like the whole thing with um what's his name? Not Hibiki, Utsumi.
Utsumi.
Um, the thing with him like sinking back into regular life that was supposed to like signal to the audience, oh, maybe we could have a sense of normalcy back, and then suddenly rip it right away.
Yeah,
And we don't even have the rebuild kaiju to reset most things, so we like when they wake up the next day, is it going to be completely reset? It can't be.
yeah. And I thought like that one scene with like the thing just kind of like came out of its like shell and just like fucking killed all the kaiju. I was kind of like, I was really scared because like those guys were actually kind of like protecting the city in a way as
Yeah.
well, and they kind of just like removed that safeguard. And you just see the way that kaiju was fighting, it was like ruthless. Like it,
Hmm.
like the things that Akane was kind of like talking with like Auntie about, how like kaijus don't really have feelings. Like you can't really understand me. Like that one felt like it did. Like it kind of like had some kind of like resentment towards Gridman himself. That's why he ripped everything except for Gridman. It was like attempting to like strangle it. Like it
Mm.
wanted it to suffer.
Yeah, you're right. Like it, yeah, that I mean, as a personification of her heart,
Yeah,
she was going right for Grimmett. She didn't want anything else but him. That's really neat. I like that. And like you were saying, the way that it ripped through all the other like support kaiju, like she in her current state, she's gotten rid of all her safeguards, like everything to bounce back. Like she's full. I can I don't know why people say full stop, but like she's gotten rid of, I don't know, all pretenses, everything that she's just getting rid of the entire illusion and being herself.
yeah. She's like definitely like kind of like snap. She's not gonna be like she's not gonna fulfill the status quo anymore
Hmm.
because she's done with it. She hates it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure like how you thought about the nightmare she had at the very beginning of the episode where she kind of like saw everyone come back. Like I don't know what how like that, but like how that motivated her actions later on. Like, what do you think about that? I just wanted to hear your opinion on that.
in terms of like motivating her, I feel like it definitely, because like all her fears are coming back to like haunt her, whether it be in the real life or not, and maybe that led her to be a little bit more unhinged. But we see the what's his name, the guy, Alexis,
Yeah,
like still with malicious intent. I think maybe he gave her that vision to spur her on.
yeah, it kind of does shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm still very much interested in what he's all about,
Yeah,
because that's something we have yet to even touch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like weird how like he's like the big menacing looking dude, but like we're kind of just like he hasn't
Yeah.
really like stepped forward. Like we're already at like episode 10, and I feel like he might not even do anything himself. Like like in terms like
Well,
of a big fight at the end, I'm not even sure if like he'll step in.
yeah,
But
like this show really does play with your expectations. Like a lot of the typical tropes that you'd think, and a lot of the sort of hallmarks of just the show in general, it upends a lot of them. Like we never see Akane's house, Enrique's like house, sort of like interacting. It's like playing with what you typically would expect, and like
yeah,
just putting it on its head with the like with all the information that you already have.
Yeah.
You know?
And they play with what you actually see, because like
Yeah.
we knew that they were next to each other, but they decided not to show us in like a single frame ever
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
now. Also, one thing that I really like about like them kind of subverting expectations, at times it can be kind of like ridiculous, just like they're subverting expectations for the sake of doing so. But one like the good things that came out of like this episode in particular for me was I didn't want Gridman to like slay a giant enemy at the very end of it. Like when the primary thing I was concerned about was like Akane. Like I wanted someone to save her more than like a giant mech to just beat up some other dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that wasn't like the end goal I was kind of like looking forward to for this show. So
yeah, like it really speaks to, you know, the show, and because I come from mostly a tokusatsu background, it's more meaningful when you care more about what's going on with the characters than you do the fights at most times, and this is like doing that in with flying colors. It is I don't know. This is like the best thing I've seen in like forever.
yeah.
So yeah, guys, Alex. I mean, are you good? Is that it? Guys, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. And at the end of this video, we're going to be giving you a little link that you can click to head over to our watch along. So guys, keep it juicy.
See ya. Also, Auntie was pretty boss this episode.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, we barely talked about Grid Knight. That was fantastic.
Yeah, and that's like that in every single rendition of That's Fantastic is all we have to say about that character.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.